Hello, friends, and welcome to the Moon Mama podcast. I am BRIA Jamie. I'm a wife. I am a moon mama. I have a little boy, 1.5-year-old, and I'm a spiritual practitioner, creative entertainer, and I am currently 37 weeks pregnant. I'm almost 38 weeks in just like a couple days. But today, if you've been following me, first of all, welcome to welcome those who have been listening for a while. And if you're new here, we just talk all the things like spirituality, motherhood, parenthood, entertainment, just living a soul-led life and really following your own path. There's so many ways to do things, and I'm one to really just trust my intuition and follow the signs. So that's what we like to talk about here. Today I just want to give you guys an update. I feel like it's been a little bit since I've posted a podcast. A lot's been going on for sure, especially being 37 weeks pregnant. Oh my gosh, I'm having a little heartburn right now. If you know, you know. And I do have to change my position. I just realized because I'm like, I made a little belly pillow. So I've been going to the chiropractor now every week since like 2 weeks ago. I had gone to one lady and I was like, okay, not vibing. So I went back to my regular chiropractor that I really like. He's so good, especially for pregnancy. I saw him all my pregnancy last time, and he has this belly pillow that you can like lay your pregnant belly in, and it is glorious. But I don't have that pillow, but I made my own kind of with my Yana pregnancy pillow. So if you have the Yana pregnancy pillow, I don't even know if they sell it anymore. It's kind of pricey too. But I just like put the two things together and like made like a little hole. I was laying on my side right now. I had to like get off of my belly, but guys, I've been having crazy hip pain again. I was hoping that I wouldn't get it, but I have. This home stretch basically, like these last few weeks of being pregnant is like, it's taking me back a little bit to my last pregnancy, especially these little pains and the symptoms. Baby has not dropped yet, so I'm wondering, since it is my second baby, if that's going to happen like day of labor or if it's going to be a gradual thing. I really only have my last pregnancy to compare anything to, and I always like hear how different every pregnancy can be, so I have no idea what to expect. And I was just pulling cards right now, and everything's about surrendering, just diving into the unknown, letting go, and just being present with all of it. And it's such a good reminder for me because honestly, like today and just lately, I've been having a day because, I have a 19-month, actually he's 20 months. He's more than a year and a half old, but I just say a year and a half. He's on his way to 2 years old, but he has 2-year-old tantrums, and they're a lot right now for me, especially. And my husband and I are home most of the day since we freelance, and I'm pretty much done with work except for anything I find like on my own, like freelance type of influencer work. I'll do that, but I'm not out and about doing hairstyling like I was. Not working in the salon anymore. That's we wrapped that up on Saturday, so that was nice, and that was a relief because it took a toll on my back, and I had like torn a little muscle in my stomach the last time I did that. So I'm like, okay, good. Don't want to be pulling muscles at this point, especially with the toddler. We took my maternity pictures, and like, oh my God, I was doing all kinds of things that my body was just like not having it. So I went and got chiropractor, acupuncture. So far it's better. This was like last week. But it did kind of freak me out for a bit, and it did stress me out because I was like, oh my gosh, I need more rest. I need more time to myself. And right now, Fabian and Soul are out for a bit. I'm on my second hour, I think. they're probably going to be coming home soon, so I'm not going to make this too long, but I cherish every time I get to myself, and I'm definitely finding that I need more time now, especially in these end weeks, just to like rest and regain energy and make sure that I'm suited up for this birth, because I've honestly been having some fears come up for sure, especially relating to the last birth. I've talked about it in a few other podcasts. And this is definitely a journey. Like, this is something we all go through during pregnancy and just in life in general, like our fears that come up, especially during certain processes. And right now in this pregnancy process and journey with just being a few weeks away from birth, I'm thinking a lot about how can I avoid certain things from happening like they did last time. One of them being going super late, because to birth with a midwife in California, you can't go over 42 weeks. And I get it, right? But like at the same time, it's hard because like I don't believe in the whole due dates thing. It can be so off. And ultrasounds can also be off. And I've only done 2, I think, this entire time, which is great. I'm so glad. But there's that. There's also the fact that my cervix had closed up at one point. I also been like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have to do the castor oil thing, which is related to like baby being really late, quote unquote late, because baby was not late. He was perfectly fine. I just didn't want to have to do a hospital transfer and change all my plans and like not be prepared. I'm gonna hopefully, we keep talking about sharing our birth story, me and Fabian. We really do want to do it together on the podcast. Otherwise I could do it by myself, but I think it'll be healing for both of us also to talk about it together. So hopefully tonight or tomorrow, the next few days, we'll get to share Soul's birth story on a podcast so that we're ready for Luna's birth. And I just said my baby girl's name. So if you are listening to this podcast, you are one of the first to know. I've been telling people actually this time her name. Her name's going to be Luna. And I guess I'll save her middle name for later. But I'm going to have a Soul and Luna. And I love it so much. I'm super into it. I just know that's her name. It's just so cool. But anyway, there you go. There you have it. You guys know the name. Super excited though. We are just like so in love. We can't wait to meet her. I can't wait to see her face. Oh my gosh. But yeah, and then like also hemorrhaging, because I had hemorrhaged a lot after birth last time. I ate a piece of my placenta because if like that stops bleeding, and it did. I did that amongst other things, like medications that they gave me. And, so these are some things that I've been thinking about, like, okay, I don't want this to happen again. And I also don't want to keep that my focus, like what I don't want, but it's coming up, especially in my blood work that I just got. And so this is something I want to talk about for a second, because I have a lot of feelings around it. I have a lot of mixed feelings. First of all, I don't really like to do blood tests. I don't do them often. I'm just not at a place in my life right now where I feel like taking a bunch of blood tests. I feel like my blood is like, I need it. Right? But I am birthing at a birth center and there are things to do. So part of it is doing these blood tests. And, up until recently, everything was coming back normal. I do have the MTHR gene variant, which is like super common. And I already knew that from before pregnancies, because my mom, she's a holistic nutritionist and naturopath. So she does a lot of like epigenetics and gene testing. So we actually had found out about that a long time ago and had been supporting it, which is great. And so I'm continuing to support that. And so that comes up in the blood tests. But this time and last time I had low platelets. So basically I'm sure, like my intuition tells me that's why I bled a lot. And I don't want to bleed a lot again. So I'm trying to increase my platelets. I also noticed that when I got my blood drawn, I bruised really, really badly. And throughout my pregnancy, every time I did get my blood drawn, which was like maybe like 2 times, at this point it's been 3 or 4 times, it was bruised like really bad. And to be honest, like, they're not like, they don't work in a lab and they're not doing blood draws all day. So part of me thinks, okay, maybe it just wasn't the best blood draw. And they always have, like, I have small veins. They can never find my veins. It's a thing. Like, getting my blood drawn is like not fun because it seems to be difficult for a lot of people. Anyway, I bruised, and I think that's like a blood issue. And so I'd posted on my story. You guys might have seen it. I was like, why does my blood, why do I get bruises every time I get a blood draw? And then like 2 people had mentioned to me, you know, like a chi thing, spleen. Okay, maybe it's because like I bended my arm after, which this time I didn't, and I actually didn't bruise. But also my platelets were up, so I'm wondering if that's a correlation. Anyway, so then 2 people had mentioned the spleen to me. So I'm having to download that. I have an enlarged spleen. And so I've been reading into that, looking up into the metaphysics of that, which has a lot to do with like receiving and giving love as a child. And I just totally resonated with that. I think I've talked about this book before, but I have this book called Metaphysical Anatomy. And it has like, it's like a huge fat book that has like almost every ailment and disease and problem that you might have in your body and body part dysfunction. And like it goes into like the emotional side of like what it could be, and like as a therapist, like what to support. So one day I hope to actually be a certified therapist or hypnotherapist and actually be able to work with clients on this stuff, because I find it so fascinating and so freaking true. Because every time I do go explore these things, I do end up healing some aspect of this issue. And it's like a constant thing throughout life, obviously. Like, it's just like a reminder, I think, that we get when we get these issues, especially physical issues. They're like, okay, sign that something in your nervous system's off. A sign that there's something to look at. Whether it is your lifestyle, right? Because that is so important, but a lot of it and majority of everything is energy. So it's a lot of what we carry on into our life and when we're born, also our births. I've talked about this before in another podcast, but like the way we came into this world, our actual birth story is literally is like a main foundation for all these things. So it's so important. It's something really interesting to look at, whether it's they're actually asking questions to your own mother who birthed you, or finding out about your birth, or even through just hypnotherapy to find out birth, or just having birth therapy sessions. There's a lot of things that you can do, but it all goes into it, right? So that was something that came up in my blood work, was the low platelets. So I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get this together. So it was at like 126, and according to them, if you're under 100, you can't birth at the birth center, and it's like a hospital transfer. So I was really stressed on Monday when I got my blood redrawn, because I was not expecting getting a redraw. Thankfully, my GBS test came back negative, which, by the way, little tip, do some tea tree sitz baths for like a week or 2 before, because it really does help prevent a positive GBS test. So just a couple drops of tea tree and a little sitz bath, sit in it for 10 minutes, and you should probably get a negative GBS test. It worked both times. I did it both times. So I think it works. But anyway, so that came back negative, but got the low platelets. And then this time they checked my blood on Monday, a few days ago, and I have this like high bun creatine and like high alkaline phosphate or something. So basically it's related to my liver and the bile. Basically it's toxic. And what I have to say, and I'm just gonna like I'm really releasing some guilt and some shame here, because I've been eating whatever the hell I want this whole pregnancy. I've been eating so much processed food, so much dairy, so much sugar, so much fast food. I can't even believe it. This was not me before I got pregnant. Like, it's insane. So obviously, hello, blood work came back saying, you better get your shit together, girl, because this is not healthy for you. And, even though everything's going well with the baby, like, it's just not healthy for me, and it's not healthy for us. And I've really had a reality check right now. And, thankfully I haven't been like eating all that out of like being in negativity. It's been only out of like true pleasure and desire. And so this girl, this baby girl here, she's gonna know true pleasure and desire. But, we have to balance it. And that's what I'm realizing now too. Like, just because I'm pregnant and have all these raging hormones and like addicted to these ice cream sandwiches and cookies and sweets and cake and cheese and grilled cheese, it's like it's taking a toll on my health and my blood work. And if I want to have the birth that I want, and for it to go beautifully and healthily and have a safe natural birthing experience, I got to also support that. So I am doing a 360 on my lifestyle this whole week, and it's been a little bit rough, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of excited for it at first. Well, at first, no, I was like really emotional, and talked to my doula about it, and she helped me out. Had to talk to my mom about it. I'm like, help me, everybody help me, because, I really do want to birth at the birth center. That is my ideal birth setting right now. And it just feels good. It feels easy. I want to stick to that. I want to make sure that it works out that way. And I have an easier time than last time. So I've been having some fears, and I've been having to really work through them and be present with them, amidst also taking care of my toddler and my husband and cleaning up this house and starting to wash baby girl clothes and organizing everything. There is so much to do, and it's insane. We have a 1-bedroom right now, and I'm like, it just feels smaller and smaller every freaking day. Our car feels smaller every day. I've been going through it. I'm not gonna lie. I've been having some days where I'm just like, I want to scream right now. I'm not okay. And I know how important my energy is, and so it kind of worries me. And that's those, that's the fight or flight mode. And that's when that heartburn comes in. That's when that, like the tiredness and like the wanting to check out comes in, is like in these moments of like anger and stress and like want to give up, because there's just so much to do. And I'm so grateful for my doula, because I, kind of had to vent to her about that. And she just helped me like take some deep breaths and like, breathing in the self-care and, letting go of all the lists and all the to-dos, and just if I could do one thing a day, that's enough. So I've been doing one thing a day and being like, that's all I could do. That's it. And I told my husband today, I was like, I'm probably not going to have any housework done. I just need some time to myself, because I need to regroup, regain my energy, so I'm not snapping at anyone, because it can get really, I don't like to be snappy, and then I feel bad. And I'm like, I don't want to feel bad. These are the last few weeks of just being the three of us, in the flesh and like soul. And I'm like, I just want it to be good. I want us to stay in a good energy so that everything goes well for the birth. So that's my intention, and that's what we got to do, is just keep it real with ourselves. I don't need to fall into a really bad place of like lack and stress and like all these things, right? It's like, I gotta surrender also like to the outcome. Like, I can't control and over control everything. And just because a midwife the other day kind of made it feel a little bit stressful and fearful, there wasn't that much emotion in the conversation. It was just like, here's the facts, and like, this is how it is, but it like made me want to cry. So it's not, maybe it's that person was very to the book, very rules. And, because now I'm going to have to get my blood drawn every week. And I'm like, I don't want to get my blood drawn every week. Now I'm scared because what if it is bad? So I don't know. I'm a little conflicted with that thing because, like, sometimes I feel like for me, like, okay, maybe I do need a wake up call so that I can course correct and do the right thing. Like, what would have happened if I didn't know? So, this is where, like, because I think about women who have wild pregnancies and free birth, but is their lifestyle able to support that and for them to have a good outcome? Is that why it's okay? Is that why, or am I the one who's wrong? Not that there's a right or wrong, but, like, am I going on a path that's more towards doom instead of empowering? Like, do the women who free birth and do have the wild pregnancies, do they have these types of issues and just don't know about it? And do they still have normal births? You know what I mean? So that's my question. Or do they just not talk about it? Do we not know about it? So I'm a little bit, because I think about that. I'm like, I would love to do a free birth one day. I don't feel like I'm ready for it right now. I don't feel called to it right now. I definitely would want some support. I would love a midwife, people who know, like, how to do all that. I don't feel like I need to be, like, alone. I definitely love having some support of somebody who births babies all the times or is familiar with that, because I'm still in that, like, I don't know everything. I do work really hard at just following intuition and my best, but I also can admit that I don't know everything, and I want the best outcome for my children. So, and that's a very individual feeling, so for some people, they are so confident and able to just do all that research and know what to prepare for and do a free birth without any support. And then there's women like me who are a little bit like would like to, but also still like love some support. And then there's some that like don't want to have anything to do with that and just go the hospital route and have the doctors and everybody, kind of decide and let you know what to do. So there's so many different paths, and none of them are right or wrong. Everything is individual. And I just want to like reiterate that, because I'm not one that will ever judge somebody for their choices. I can help people if they feel like they don't want to be making certain choices, or if it's not aligning. That's where I can come in and I can be like, okay, well, why isn't that working for you? Right? And that's something that people can do with a one-on-one mentorship that I do offer, and you can find that on my website. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now, is like I have a few weeks left of being pregnant, and it's been so beautiful. It's been so magical. I'm constantly thanking this baby girl every day for this experience. Like, it has just been so beautiful. I'm like, I'm gonna miss this pregnancy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's just so beautiful. So I'm so excited for this birth, but I want to support it. So I am doing all the things. I'm cleaning up my diet. I'm only drinking water and the teas that were, pregnancy tea and the dandelion tea. I am doing my best at trying to do some perineal massage, which is really hard. Our intimacy is so different now, with having Soul and just me being pregnant and super tired, and like our time schedules and like energy levels. It's just not like it was last time. So that's another thing. Like, that's something that like, I think we just phases of life. So doing the evening primrose oil that you can also, I stick one in vaginally when I remember, and I also take one daily, taking the supplements, trying my best to stay active, like go for walks, do a little bit of stretching, being on my birth ball. What else? Oh my gosh, there's so many things to do. I try to take a little bit more magnesium salt baths. I did one a few days ago. I want to do them every day. Singing, toning, vocal toning. I just love that. I think it's going to be so helpful in birth. These are things that, like, sometimes I don't do them every day, and I can be like, oh my God, why didn't I do it? Like, am I going to forget? And because that's one of the things that I realized through my last birth was that a lot of things that I did just, like, went out the door. Like, I didn't even remember to do certain things. So I'm hoping this time I'll be able to actually do more things and be more active up till the end. I am getting weekly acupuncture, chiropractic care, probably going for another massage one time, and get my nails done once before baby girl comes, just so I'm like self-cared, ready to go. And I might be having a baby blessing ceremony. I am really hoping it works out. Trying to get a few gals together, sisters, to do this baby blessing, because it's something I wanted to do this entire time. And the woman I actually really resonated with that teaches yoga out here reminded me, and I was like, yes, thank you. Like, I would love to. So hoping it works out, if I get the right people and doesn't end up just being me, then we'll be doing that. Still some prep, like also just regular prep, like getting our room in order and ordering diapers and washing the cloth diapers, installing the car seat. Like, oh my gosh, it's just a lot. There's like a laundry list of things to do, but it's all getting done one day at a time, and I'm remembering that. So mamas out there, one day at a time, one thing on your list every day, if you can, and take time to meditate, to breathe, to just be present. If you have kids, also being present with your kids, and even when they're driving you crazy, even when you just feel like, oh my God, I need such a break, ask for that break. My doula asked me that. She's like, well, have you asked for the break? And I'm like, no, kind of. Sometimes I just feel bad because, like, yeah. And it's like, stop feeling bad. No, you need to ask for what you want, because this whole feeling bad thing is not working out ever with anything. So more releasing guilt, more releasing shame, more releasing feeling bad. What can you release? We're in a waning period right now, waning moon period. So we had a full moon, last week? And we're approaching the new moon, so it's getting smaller and smaller. Waning period is perfect for detoxes, for letting go of things. What do you not want in your life anymore? What is not working for you? What is not serving you? So that's a little moon mama talk right there. This is a perfect time to check in with all that and see where you're at. See what you can do to make things different, so that you can have the outcomes that you want for the things that you want. So that's all I got for today. Just wanted to share with you guys. If you liked this episode, please leave a good review. It really helps the show. And you can also leave in the Q&A any comments or questions that you might have, or things and topics you want me to cover on the next podcast. Hopefully it will be the birth story of Soul. Can't wait to share that. I just really want to do it with my husband, and it's been hard for us to find some time to do it. But we're learning some new things too at this phase of life, so of how to make more time to do these things together. So thank you all so much for listening. As always, remember, you are love, you are light, you are pure magic, and I'm here for you if you need any support. If you want to just be on this journey together, if you just want to follow along, you can follow me on my socials. They're in the description. And I will see you guys next time. Lots of love, and have a magical day.